longer on national TV. He's from here.
He's from Akron.
Northeast Ohio.
And sucks, it does.
A new kind of March Madness is bringing basketball to the stage. From Pulitzer Prize finalist Rajiv Joseph, King James is a funny, heartfelt look at loyalty and ambition, and celebrates the connections that keep us going. Matt and Shawn, two Clevelanders, forge an unlikely connection over their shared passion for the Cleveland Cavaliers and rising basketball star LeBron James. Spanning 12 years, their friendship is shaped by the triumphs and challenges of both fandom and life itself. We're here today at the George Street Playhouse to speak to the cast and crew of King James. For those of us who can't even dribble, how would you sell the show to non-basketball fans?
There's a beauty of this play in which you forget that it's a basketball play. The basketball element is a driving force. It helps drive their emotions. It parallels to where they are at a certain point in their lives. So it does a good job of like anchoring the story and what these guys' main interest is. But then at so many points, it just kind of fades into the back and you're just watching the story about these two humans having a very real human experience.
And it's a comedy. So if you're looking to laugh along with two guys who have very distinct personalities, who are very passionate, but also have their own trials and tribulations, that part of the story is more than enough to attract you to see the show.
I think it's a beautiful play. The text is beautiful. The timing of it's really apt, and a lot of humor, just a lot of compassion. It's a good project and a really great show.
And it's not just LeBron, it's the disappointment. Year after year, we get so close, but it is the same old story. I'm tired of sports. It's a sickness.
It's not a sickness, it's an orientation.
Well, I'm done with it.
How does this show exemplify male friendships and the emotional relationship tied to sport?
Men have so much emotional capacity. And a lot of times we don't choose to direct that energy in the right place. But I think the play exemplifies that men have the capacity to love deeply and to be emotionally moved deeply by something. And in this play, sports tends to be that place because it's a safe haven. And so seeing these men who have that capacity to love bigly, once sports isn't enough, what do I do with all that energy? And I think these men are in that point in their lives. They're young and they're really trying to wrestle with that and figure that out. And sports has always been the safest place to do that. But then when you don't have that safe place where you can be your biggest, most emotional self, then you have to sort of try to find a new home for that. And I think that that's so much about what the journey of the play is.
It's a beautiful exploration of how we as men, use sports to talk about our feelings or our dreams or our doubts and fears, and also how we don't talk about it. Rajiv has done a great job in writing these two men to make them as contemporary and reflective as possible of our current society.
They were my dad's. He's had them since I was 6. We went to basically every game together. Now they're mine.
I'm so sorry, man.
What? Oh, no, he didn't die. Jesus.
Tell us a bit about your character.
I play Matt in the show, and he is awesome. And, he's got a lot of sort of shortcomings that we meet along the way, but he's like all energy, all ambition, all drive and excitement, and he's sort of blind to what he doesn't know. He's a huge sports fan, and I think people with both characters will really align, but they'll get a lot of entertainment out of Matt for sure.
Shawn is a little more reserved. He is, I would say, quietly ambitious, insecure in a lot of ways. Deeply at heart, he's an artist. I think that he probably felt misfit in a lot of ways. He struggles to make connections, like a lot of people. I deeply relate to Shawn's desire for connection and his desire for his own goals. One of the flaws in Shawn's character is that he wants to achieve the thing first, and he thinks that love will come from that. But you have to understand that along the way, there are people who will love you and who will value you, even when you're at your lowest.
How does your love of the game affect your approach to direction?
Basketball is beautiful in that way that there's an ebb and flow to the game, and I think that is very similar to how plays work in my approach to this as well too, that there's gonna be ebbs and flows of these guys' rhythm as they're passing the ball back to each other, the metaphorical ball in terms of their dialogue and their energy.
What do you hope audiences will take away from this show?
There are things that we have built that bring us together, and sports is one of those things. And if we allow ourselves in those moments when we are cheering on a team or cheering on a player to really sit with each other and take that moment of when we're experiencing joy or experiencing sadness or frustration, that we are able to express that with each other safely And I think that can lead to better community building.
You really can't get through life without your friendships. They are essential. And as much as sometimes we try to focus on other things because they might be complicated or difficult, keep choosing them and, keep pursuing that growth for yourself.
I hope that people can see a reflection of whatever is missing in their friendships, whatever's missing in their relationships. The beautiful thing about theater is you get to watch someone say the thing that you're too afraid to say, or do the thing that you weren't brave enough to do. And through the lens of two men who actually have a desire to be better, I think you can walk away looking at both of these men and saying that there are parts of him that I agree with, there are parts of him that I agree with. And when you feel that, it kind of makes you turn the mirror back on yourself and say, well then, what do I truly think? What do I truly believe? And the play just does that so beautifully.
King James runs March 18th through April 6th at the George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick. I'm Gina Marie Rodriguez for Jersey Arts. Thanks for watching.